Broadcasting, Laura Westbrook, Hong Kong.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, here we are back together again. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, and welcome to a Wednesday, the 17th day of September for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way with all the news, weather, and sports that you need to get out the door here this morning. The Nebraska volleyball team beat Creighton last night at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. We'll talk about that coming up. Plus, we've got some comments coming up from Nebraska head coach Danny Busboom Kelly. The Nebraska football team preparing for Saturday's conference opener against Michigan. We'll hear from Nebraska offensive coordinator Dana Holgerson coming up here this morning. Hastings College volleyball team, they'll be back in action today. They'll play in Yankton, South Dakota against Mount Marty. Another Hastings College women's soccer player has received some GPAC honors. The new NAIA football coaches top 25 poll is out this morning. The Nebraska Kearney volleyball team picked up a win over York College last night. Had some high school softball and volleyball played in the area last night. Plus, coming up this morning on the show, we've got our survivor picks for week number 3 of the NFL season. So stick around for that. Survivor today is our main topic as we get into the third week of this contest for us here. And it all gets underway with a game tonight between Buffalo and the Miami Dolphins. And again, those survivor picks need to be into us by 5 o'clock this afternoon to get you in for week number 3. And as you can tell on our little tote board here, if you're watching our video streams this morning, still 37 people are in the running for the survivor for this year. So that includes you and I. We're both still in.
We made it.
We made it to week 2. Yeah, we made it through the first 2 weeks at least.
Made it to week 3. So, yeah, we'll have survivor picks kind of break down some of the big games with the big point spreads and talk about maybe why we're not going in a direction, why we're leaning this way, and again, what we say we play. So we'll make our survivor picks here, give you an idea of what island you can hop on, whether it's Tyson's Island, it's often a lonely island over here, going out on some limbs and ledges, but looking forward to making that selection. Big day on volleyball. Let's start there, right? Huskers, Creighton, an attendance record as we made the road trip down to Omaha to play that road matchup, CHI Health Center, and man, the energy. The fans brought it. It was just an electric atmosphere all night, and the play equaled the atmosphere and the energy that the fans brought. 5-set thriller. Nebraska pulls away late, and that's all you can ask for. And you want to watch what makes this sport special, and what is it about this state that has such a grip on the volleyball world and the volleyball hearts. You watched 5 sets of it last night. That's Exhibit A. Why is Nebraska the best sport for volleyball? Exhibit A. Breaking an attendance record for an indoor attendance record. We have the outdoor attendance record. Just the love and the support that the fans bring for these athletes on the court, night in, night out. It's incredible.
Yeah, 17,675 on hand last night at the CHI Health Center. As Tyson mentioned, breaks the NCAA record for an indoor regular season match. Yeah, we got to the fourth set. Nebraska had Creighton on the ropes. In fact, they led it early. It looked like they were going to cruise to the victory. Creighton comes back and takes the fourth game 26-24. And then they go into the epic fifth game, 15-9. Nebraska wins that. Creighton has taken Nebraska to a fifth game in 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams, but Nebraska has won all of them. In fact, the Huskers are now like 24-0 against Creighton in the all-time series, but Creighton has taken the last 4 out of 5 matches with the Huskers to a deciding fifth game, but Nebraska has won all of those. So Nebraska winning last night in that fifth set, 15-9.
And make no mistake, like Creighton's going to hang around. Creighton's not going anywhere, and in fact, they have become a power amongst themselves in this volleyball mecca that is the state of Nebraska. And you give a lot of credit, obviously, to what Coach Cook built for Nebraska, but not a bad substitute in the volleyball hotbed of the world is heading down east. If you can't get on Nebraska, just heading over on I-80 for a little bit longer and hitting up Creighton, and they're building themselves into a powerhouse as well. Both these teams are going to flex in the national tournament, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Creighton ranked number 18 coming in. They've now got 5 losses this year, and all 5 of their losses have been to nationally ranked teams. Mm-hmm. So Creighton hanging in there. The beginning, they lost to Nebraska last night in a 5-set thriller at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. A couple of NFL notes we'll hit here right off the bat. The Bengals have added a couple of quarterbacks in the wake of Joe Burrow's turf toe injury. That's going to keep him sidelined for about 3 months. The Bengals have signed Sean Clifford and also Mike White to their practice squad, giving them now a total of 4 quarterbacks in their organization. Jake Browning will start for Cincinnati this week, and Brett Rippon, who they signed on August the 27th, was elevated off of Cincinnati's practice squad to the active roster. So it'll now be Jake Browning, Brett Rippon, and then Sean Clifford and Mike White as your quarterbacks for Cincinnati, at least in the foreseeable future. One of those guys, I think Mike White, wasn't he a Jets quarterback at one time, or was it Clifford? I think it was Mike White.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah,
their impact was like a pebble in the ocean. Man, it didn't even make a ripple.
So you're not going to rush out and snatch those guys up on your?
No, you said it brings their quarterback total to 4. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It brings their quarterback total to 2 because none of those guys are. No, Cincinnati's got issues.
Yeah, they got issues. Minnesota, they put their running back Aaron Jones on injured reserve.
Ouchie. Because
of a hamstring injury, so he is done for a minimum of 4 games. So now a free agent acquisition, Jordan Mason will see the bulk of the carries in his absence for the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are also expected to re-sign Cam Akers, who has spent 2 separate stints with the team in the past. They're expected to re-sign him for some insurance. So a lot of NFL teams facing some injury woes and concerns in week number 3 of the NFL season. The Vikings and the Bengals, just 2 of those teams.
Yeah, and big spots, too. High-paid profile players going down. I mean, what? Aaron Jones got like a $20 million bag when he signed over for Minnesota. So that's a costly injury to that organization. And, yeah, you bring in Mason, who's got, 789 yards last year. That was a career high for him. And how would you feel to be Cam Akers? And Cam Akers kind of feels like a guy I used to know, and that guy was me, who would frequently get brought into a role, have that role for, a year and 6 months, and then we made a decision to go in a different direction in that role. So I was given a different role, and still in the company, didn't get fired, but I was still in the company. And then that decision that they made didn't work out, and 6 months later they'd roll me back out, and we'd do it again for another 3 years. It's in this time slot too. Funny how that works.
The Vikings just kind of have him on speed dial.
Right.
Yeah, if we need Cam Akers, we just call him. He's probably got an apartment just down the road from the stadium. Hey, Cam, you want to join us again for a while?
Yeah.
But join us for a while? I don't know how long. Maybe 6-7 weeks.
Spoiler alert: it eventually gets old, and you eventually leave that team or company.
Not if they're paying him well.
That's true.
Yeah, he probably gets invited to all the team picnics and everything. Why not? You got to make him part of the team if he's had now 3 stints with the Minnesota Vikings.
He can
just make him part of the team.
He can go to team meetings. He can go to team meetings where you have team meetings, but Tyson's not invited, but he gets to go to team meetings. He probably has a lot more going for him than I did. But I know the feeling. Like, hey, we're going to fire you, but we had an injury. We're going to bring you back on board.
You never got invited to the team meetings?
In fact, it was almost like, hey, I bet I know what you guys are talking about because you have a team meeting, but Tyson's not invited. Like, that's not how those work.
If you're not invited to the team meeting, obviously you're not going to be a big part of the game plan.
Yeah,
for that week.
Yeah, I started to figure that out.
God.
I was able to connect some dots.
It's kind of like the Hastings City Councilmen holding their own team meeting and not inviting the rest of the council to their meetings the other night. Some
of that soundbite were spicy.
Yeah, it was.
But also, like, okay, can we? It's not sports related, but let's touch on this topic a little bit, right? The services that were cut, and I understand. In doing a little research and a little reading, that ultimately it was that they shifted their focus and they realized they could cut funding for this airport hangar, which would have made the Hastings Airport get a certain level of federal funding because we would have jumped up in a class in terms of what we can carry. So I get that. But then I also get like the essential services to your library and your museum and the Parks and Rec department, and I was hearing comments like, just because a few people spoke up, that now all of a sudden you don't like what they had and put together and worked probably countless hours putting that budget together. What they had, and they thought they had a good plan, but they presented that plan. The public looked at the plan and goes, no, we're going to speak out at the next city council meeting. But the comments that were made were interesting because it was, just because a few people show up and now we're going to change our vote. Well, that's the whole idea. That's why we have open council meetings. You get public input. And when the public says no, your job as a council isn't to hold your ground. Your job as a councilman is to be the elected representative of the people that are speaking. So they were doing their jobs when they changed their vote, when they changed their mind, they were doing their job. They weren't influenced by a mob mentality. They weren't threatened. They didn't back down. They were doing their job. They were executing, and I want to make that clear because that comment blew my mind when I heard it. That's the whole idea of city council meetings. So good for the citizens that showed up and voiced their opinions, and ultimately proved why city government can work.
If people listen.
If people listen and people show up.
Some people don't care. Listen. Sometimes they show up and they still don't listen.
So that's my soapbox. I'm off it now. We can talk about sports again.
Cal Raleigh. Let's talk about him.
Big dumpa.
He broke a record held by Mickey Mantle last night while matching another one held by Ken Griffey Jr. The Mariners catcher hit his 55th homer of the season in the second inning last night against the Kansas City Royals, sending him past Mickey Mantle's mark for a switch hitter that had stood since 1961. Then Raleigh hit his 56th home run in the next inning, matching the club record that Ken Griffey Jr. first established in 1997 and matched himself the following year. So Cal Raleigh continues to do some some great things for Seattle. And as the Mariners last night knocked off the Kansas City Royals by the score, 12-5, the final score last night. Same two teams will play at 6:40 tonight. Don't you had him on your fantasy baseball team?
Part of my championship fantasy baseball team. I have to decide whether or not I'm keeping him.
Why wouldn't you?
Because I am loaded with talent.
And you can only keep a certain amount of people for next year?
You get 6 keepers. Okay? And right now, Bobby Witt Jr., that's a lock. Like, you're keeping Bobby Witt Jr. Aaron Judge, that's a keeper. That's
How did you get all these guys?
I told you, I built this baby from the ground up. Like, I got Bobby Witt Jr. when he was in high school as a prospect. I added him to the fantasy baseball team. And he sat on my bench, just chilling out in the minors, and sat there until he was able to come up. And, you know, he didn't have the biggest start. So there was a 3-year stretch where I was 11th, 12th, and 11th. Because I basically just stashed a bunch of prospects. Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal, Vlad Guerrero Jr. I got Aaron Judge in a trade to give away a first-round pick. I mean, this team was awful when I inherited it. No offense, Pat Morey, but it was brutal. And picked it back up and, yeah, got these prospects. So who do you cut? Who do you throw into the draft pool? Who do you offer for trade bait to get first-round pick material? Probably the big dumper in Cal Raleigh. Because I just too loaded everywhere else.
Wow. You got a lot of problems.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, you got a lot of problems with your fantasy baseball team.
I wish it was like the Yankees and we could just keep everything. I wish it was like Major League Baseball and the rich just got richer. Hell, I'd be the Dodgers by now, but with a way better bullpen. L.A. blew their game last night again.
Talk to the commissioner and see if you can change the rules.
Shohei was brilliant last night. Five really strong innings, even cranked out a home run. Dodgers bullpen blows it. Gotta love baseball.
Baseball heading to the home stretch here.
Yeah. Down the stretch they come, as you warmed up this morning saying.
Well, the Beeson guys were talking about the baseball guys coming down the home stretch. Coming down the home stretch. A couple of weeks left in the regular season, and postseason gets underway, but it'll be buried under everything else in the sports world at this time of the year, and nobody will really realize who's playing.
We're not burying playoff baseball. They put it in a completely different time slot for you.
So I can watch
Fall
it?
Classic. They've got day games that go on. Yeah, it's not going to get buried beneath the sports.
We'll bring it up here. Just because you're an avid baseball fan, we'll bring up the baseball playoffs in this show.
That's probably a good idea on a sports show to have the Major League Baseball playoffs.
Baseball playoffs. All right. So that's some of the things going on as we get up and get rolling here this morning. The Nebraska football team preparing for Saturday's game against Michigan. And get some comments coming up from Dana Holgerson as he looks forward to the Big Ten Conference season. Michigan, 2-1 in the season. They lost to Oklahoma. They've got a couple of cupcake wins last week. They beat Central Michigan by the score of 63-3, covering the big spread.
Cupcake, Central Michigan. That's a MAC school.
They also beat them 63-3.
You don't talk bad about MAC schools.
And I was on that MAC school in my Blazing 5, and that's the only one I lost last week.
The MAC is the most beautiful conference in all of sports.
4 major Power 4 teams to beat up on.
You cannot poo-poo them.
63-3 over Central Michigan.
Cupcake.
Michigan, a team that's going to rush the football. Yeah, they're going to
run the damn ball.
242.7 yards per game is what they average.
That sounds like Michigan.
And they give up only 89 yards per game. So Huskers will have to try to get their running game going. against a very stout defense. And we'll see what happens. 2:30 kickoff time on Saturday afternoon. Memorial Stadium, it'll be on CBS this week. All right, so those are some of the sports headlines. If you'd like to chime in with us here today, you can. 402-834-1330. 402-834-1330. That's the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. If you'd like to leave us a message on our social media sites, you can. Lots of people in the lobby hanging out with us here this morning at the breakfast table. Even if you want to talk something non-sports related like Tyson did a little while ago when he got on his high horse and talked about Hastings City Council meeting. I guess I was the guy who kind of threw the carrot out there, and you ran after the carrot and took your stand. So if you got anything on your mind, if you'd like to talk about the happenings with the city council and the budget, you can give us a call here. We can discuss that on the show.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? It's Wednesday. Getting up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. You're listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Why not Wednesdays? Why not Wednesdays? That would be a fun little segment on the show. Let's talk property tax relief, shall we? It's been a while. But due to an increase in casino gambling revenue and unused money remaining in the property tax credit cash fund, Governor Jim Pillen is ordering the distribution of $20 million in property tax relief. This executive order follows a number of initiatives led by Governor Pillen to reduce property taxes, which has resulted in increasing direct relief to property taxpayers to the tune of $1.2 billion, removing community colleges from property tax rolls, and placing revenue caps on school districts, cities, and counties. Meanwhile, 2 children have died following a 2-vehicle crash on Monday afternoon. The crash occurred at the intersection of Saddlehorn Road and Riverview. 33-year-old Blake Whitcomb of Hastings collided with a northbound farm truck from Harvard. The sheriff's office says 2 children, ages 7 and 10, in the eastbound pickup died at the scene. And storms on Tuesday afternoon, hovering over the McCook community. I mean, they formed there, and then they didn't move. They just stalled. It dropped up to 3-inch hailstones over the course of an hour and a half. There was also a tornado warning at one point, and flash flood warning was later issued for the county, as the National Weather Service said 2.5 inches of rain fell per hour. It is 7:22. Time to swing things over to you. Mike Will, what's going down in sports?
Well, the Nebraska volleyball team beat Creighton last night at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. The scores were 25-17, 21-25, 25-18, 24-26, and 15-9. Harper Murray had 17 kills, 10 digs for the Huskers. Virginia Adriano had 13 kills with a pair of aces. The official attendance for the match was 17,675, an NCAA record for an indoor regular season match. Nebraska now 9-0 in the season. They'll play host to Arizona on Saturday. First serve will be at 8 o'clock. The Nebraska football team is preparing for Saturday's conference opener against Michigan. The Wolverines are 2-1 in the season after last week's 63-3 win over Central Michigan. Michigan is one of the top rushing teams in the conference, averaging 242.7 yards per game. They're also stout against the run, allowing only 89 yards per game. Kickoff will be at 2:30 on CBS. Hastings College volleyball team will play at Mount Marty tonight. The Broncos are 4-8 on the season, 1-1 in the conference after losing a 4-game match to the College of St. Mary's on Saturday. First serve will be at 7:30. Tatiana Billisnor of Hastings College has been named the GPAC Women's Soccer Defensive Player of the Week for the second consecutive week. She recorded a shutout in a 5-0 win over Bethel and did not allow a goal on 5 attempts in their scoreless tie with Friends. Hastings will play at Morningside on Saturday. Grandview of Iowa is ranked number 1 in this week's NAIA Football Coaches Top 25 poll. Morningside is 4th. Northwestern is 15th. Dordt is 17th. And Concordia is number 23. Mount Marty is receiving votes. The Nebraska Kearney volleyball team swept York College last night, 25-14, 25-17, 25-14. Mia Berg led the way with 12 kills. The win pushes UNK's home court winning streak to 35 games, the third longest in the program's history. UNK had 2 previous 66-game winning streaks. The Lopers will play at Truman State on Thursday. High school softball from yesterday. Hastings High beat Gretna by a score of 6-4. Tigers are now 13-4. Hastings St. Cecilia defeated Twin River 10-3. The Hawkettes are also 13-4. High school volleyball from yesterday. Hastings High lost to Minden and Northwest in the Northwest Triangular. The Tigers are now 2-9. Adams Central took 3 games from Aurora to improve to 7-1. St. Cecilia swept Blue Hill to improve to 7-3 on the season. And Seattle beat the Kansas City Royals 12-5 last night. Same 2 teams will play at 6:40 tonight. That's a check in your sports headlines at 7:26 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Wednesday morning, light rain is still lingering, but it looks like overnight we've had about 1.14 inches of rain at the Hastings Airport. Today we'll have lingering showers and thunderstorms and a high of 76, 57, and the same for rain chances overnight tonight. Thursday, cool, a high of 71, chances of various showers. And on Friday, the sunshine returns, a high of 77 and 81 on Saturday and sunny.
Right now, as you wake up, get going, we've got mostly cloudy skies, south winds at about 4 miles per hour. It's 63 degrees in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Fall in love with the season of savings. It's our fall sale at Bob Sass Flowers, September 15th through the 20th. 20% savings store-wide. From cozy must-haves to fresh new finds, everything you need to celebrate autumn is waiting for you. Join us September 20th for our Fall Floral Fest, celebrating 70 years of business in the Hastings community. We will have 10-plus local vendors and store-wide savings. We will be open 9 to 1. Join us for a fun fall morning. Located at 2618 West 2nd Street in Hastings.
At Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center in Hastings, you can now experience the Balancer Pro lymphatic system, a relaxing, touchless treatment that works while you simply sit back. Using the principles of manual lymphatic drainage, it helps flush out swelling, reduce toxins, ease muscle soreness, and promote total body wellness. Whether you're recovering from surgery, looking to contour and tone, aiming for weight loss, or just wanting to feel lighter and more energized, the Balancer Pro lymphatic system delivers results you can feel immediately. Perfect for athletes, post-op recovery, detox, or anyone who just wants to look and feel their best, because it's for everybody with a body. Come try it today at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings.
I'm John Butler, Funeral Director and Owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson O'Brien with you. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Wednesday. Again, thanks for joining us, whether you're listening online at our website at x-streamsports.com, maybe on the smartphone with your free mobile app, smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you're listening to us. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. Yep, week number 3 of the NFL season is upon us. We've got a Survivor game going on, and we're into the week number 3. Tyson and I are still both alive with our picks from the first 2 weeks, so we're amongst the 37 people that are still alive in our Survivor. Again, the grand prize winner is going to receive a brand new 55-inch TV donated by Mid-America Truck Sales of Hastings. Going to receive a flat-top grill to get you going with your grilling needs during this fall season. We've got the gift card from Boletta Vista Winery up in St. Paul. We're going to treat you to dinner and some drinks out at Bullseye Sports Bar and Grill of Hastings. We've got the oil change from Conant Auto Care. And we've got the 60-minute head spa experience with KK and the crew down at Bamboo Mind and Body Spa. So that's going to go to the survivor of our Survivor Series. So it's a week number 3. We're inviting you to drop your picks on our social media sites. They have to be in by tomorrow at 5 p.m. for week number 3 to keep you eligible. Amber's already chiming in on Seattle.
Plenty of heavy hitters. Amber is going to go Denver, Arizona, and now Seattle for her road to Survivor pick.
Seattle is a 7.5-point favorite over the Saints this week.
Amber's still alive. Some heavy hitters still alive. Got Chris Cook. He's in our fantasy football league. Coach Stroman in our fantasy football league. He's still alive. Colin, Dakota, Dan, Dennis, Little E, Eric Williams still alive. Hackler's still alive. Schleicher's still alive. Remember Lexi Brooks from the March Madness basketball
she's still alive, isn't she?
She's still alive. Kristen Arnold's hanging in there. Matt Cranston.
Lexi,
KK.
how does she wins all of our contests for the sports contests that we have. At least she's in the running.
Yeah, she's made good picks so far. She's down to 37, 34 of which are eligible.
Yeah.
You and the IT guy can't win.
Me and you and the IT guy, we're out. But we're actually in.
But we're in.
If we happen to win the thing, we'll have to appeal to the Extreme Sports Board.
Appeal process.
Which will get probably turned down, but we can appeal. It's like NASCAR racing.
Right.
You get fined and you get punishment and you go to the appeals board, and 9 out of 10 times it's
not
overturned. No, they'll just, no, you're not going to play.
Russ, Ryan, Shaner still alive. Ty Schleicher still alive. Crosby's still alive. Plenty of heavy hitters still with picks to make this week. So let's break down our picks here on Survivor. Let's head to the
big board.
The big board.
The big board. New Orleans and Seattle. We mentioned that. Amber's already on the Seattle Seahawks as a 7.5-point favorite. I see Green Bay is playing in Cleveland as a 7.5-point favorite. Green Bay's off to a 2-0 start.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland, I can't get a read on Cleveland, but they play pretty tough at home.
Yeah.
So I didn't go in that direction.
Yep.
I seriously looked at Kansas City and the Giants. In fact, I was leaning that way when I was looking over things last night until I stumbled across this stat. It was actually the IT guy that sent it to me. He texted me, the Giants are the only team that the Chiefs have never beaten on the road.
Okay.
That's an interesting stat.
The Giants are the only team the Chiefs have never
beaten on the road.
I didn't get that stat. That's sharing of information. That's collusion.
You didn't get that stat?
Now I've got even more grounds for an appeal process because I'm not getting intel.
Well, you told me earlier you're never part of the meetings in the team, meetings.
This is true.
Yeah,
in fact, on group chats, I mute most of them.
That's the problem. You mute the group chats.
I can't group chat.
The Giants are the only team the Chiefs have never beaten on the road, although the Chiefs are 6-point favorites over the Giants this week.
So that'll alter your opinion.
It did, because I was leaning that way last night. So there's only one choice left for me.
You doing the night game?
I'm doing tonight's game.
Thursday night's game.
Hell, I don't even know what day it is anymore.
Hi, it's Wednesday.
I said that to begin the show. It's Wednesday, the 17th day of the month.
But you're fast forward. You want this kick off tonight.
I want the season to get started. Week number 3. I'm going with Buffalo this week as a 12-point favorite. I did some research. The Dolphins have lost 5 straight games to the Bills.
Yep.
And they've lost 13 out of their last 14 games to the Bills. So give me Buffalo. I'm on Buffalo for week number 3 of our Survivor. 13 out of 14 times the Bills have beaten the Dolphins. Hopefully that's 14 out of 15.
I whittled my decision-making down to 3 games. And it started with Buffalo and Miami because that should be a lock. It's a 12.5-point spread. I have every indication that Buffalo is going to cover that and is going to win that football game. And all you have to do is win. You don't have to worry about the spread. Buffalo heavy favorite. Buffalo's offense has been freaking humming ever since the fourth quarter of that Baltimore game. Miami's defense is trash. I mean, it's an absolute dumpster fire what's happening in Miami right now. But it's a Thursday game.
Yeah.
And weird shit happens on Thursdays.
You'd never pick Thursday games.
It's not going to happen again. I'm gonna move on. We move on. I then looked at Green Bay. The Packers, they've been strong early, off to a 2-0 start, both offensively and defensively. Green Bay, get on the bandwagon. The Browns have been struggling, especially with their offense. But like you mentioned, the Packers are on the road, and despite being on the road against, well, it's only the Cleveland Browns, Cleveland is a tough place to go in and win a football game. Regardless of the season the Browns are having, that's a difficult place to go on the road and play. I don't like putting my survivor pick on the road in Cleveland, so I moved away from the Green Bay Packers. The Colts with Danny Dimes going away from Anthony Richardson. The Colts have looked very capable this season. The Titans have, let's say, had trouble getting out of the starting blocks. They're way too inconsistent, and they struggle mightily on the defensive side of the football. Colts also on the road, right? So my logic is starting to get gray because I'm like, well, I don't like road games. Well, the Colts are on the road, but Nissan Stadium doesn't quite have the same home field advantage as the Dog Pound over in Cleveland. I expect Indianapolis and Danny Dimes to take down the Titans.
What?
and improve to 3-0 on the season, I am taking, and probably on Tyson's Island this week, I am taking the Indianapolis Colts.
Wow. Wow. A team that you were dishing not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
When they made the choice that Anthony Richardson was not going to be their starting quarterback, and you were dishing on the Indianapolis Colts, and now week 3 of Survivor, you're going to take Indianapolis to get you into the 4th week, bypassing Buffalo on a Thursday night only because it's a Thursday night.
Yep.
Wow.
I think Tennessee's that bad. I don't think Indianapolis is going to shock the world this year in the AFC. I think they'll win some games. I think they'll be in the conversation for maybe a wild card bid. But I don't see Tennessee doing shit this year. I just don't. They're miserable, and I look for miserable teams when I'm on Survivor. And if I have to beat down an opponent, I want somebody that's already's got 13 holes in the armor, and that's Tennessee. They're a sinking ship right now. And if I need a victory, I'm gonna fire a cannonball at a ship that's already sinking, just to put one in the ocean, you know. So give me the Indianapolis Colts.
All right, so you're gonna be on Indy this week. I'm on Buffalo for our Survivor picks. Again, Amber's chimed in already. She's on the Seattle Seahawks. Drop us a quick little note on our social media sites. Which way are you leaning on Survivor in the week number 3 of the season? Again, the picks have to be in by 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon as we get ready for week number 3 of the NFL season. We'll talk some Husker volleyball quickly here. The Huskers last night taking care of the Creighton Blue Jays at the CHI Health Center in Omaha, winning by scores of 25-17, 21-25, 25-18, 24-26, and then 15-9. Husker head coach Danny Busboom Kelly on the victory last night.
A really fun match to be a part of, and the crowd was awesome, I thought, for both sides. And another example of why the state makes volleyball so special. Our team was really good in Game 5 and kind of went back to what we've been trusting all year and just started playing our game, and I think that's a great sign of where we're headed is when we can play our loosest volleyball in the 5th game.
And DBK says that Creighton actually had a good game plan against the Huskers.
You could tell early on that Creighton was not going to let our middles beat them, and so we went away from them, even though that's one thing that's made us great all year. And then they were still on Becca, but I just opened up those tips for her to strategically place them. So I thought she did a great job of being smart, and again, going back to what's made us great was huge.
Harper Murray led the way, 17 kills, 10 digs for the Huskers last night. And then Virginia Adriano came through with 13 kills and a pair of aces for Nebraska.
After Game 2, we told the team, we got to trust Virginia to kill some balls back there. And she came out of the locker room and killed a bunch of balls and then got her serve going. And you can just see, what a weapon that is when she trusted. And I thought it was awesome, huge game for Virginia. And we really needed that as a team. And I think her personally, just to have a great game in a big environment where she has to take over the game or we might lose that.
And this is really the first game against Creighton as the head coach of the Nebraska volleyball team for Danny Busboom Kelly. And she says it was a good experience.
Being gone for 8 years, and that was also a big, part of Creighton's rise to how great they've gotten. So I've missed a lot of heated battles. I've always watched them on TV, and luckily they're always on a night where you can typically watch. So it definitely met my expectations from a game and the crowd and, just how into it people were. Of course, I'm looking back, I want to play better, and I'm sure Creighton's going to look at it and be like, this game was in our hands, a couple points here and there, but that's what makes rivalry games so fun, is that anything can happen. There's a lot of emotions. And now I thought, I know there's a lot of Nebraska fans, but there were tons of Creighton fans too. When I left, the last game we played in here was like probably 90% Nebraska fans. So it's a testament to Creighton and how much their program's grown, and that not only they're still competing at a high level, but they've brought a lot of people into their program.
And that's Danny Bus Boom Kelly following the Huskers' victory last night over Creighton. Nebraska now 9-0 on the season. They're still undefeated against Creighton in the all-time series. Nebraska will play host to Arizona on Saturday. First serve will be at 8 o'clock. So you got football in the afternoon beginning at 2:30, and you'll have a volleyball at night beginning at 8 o'clock at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. So there you go. No additional comments? You got to turn your microphone on.
No, none needed. I mean, I said it at the beginning of the show, right? Like, setting that attendance record, that's a testament to the strength of this state and the support this state has for these two programs. And so to see the rise of Creighton has been something that is a direct reflection and a byproduct of Nebraska being such a dang good volleyball school. So now we've got two colleges that have a very intense and supportive fan base, and it's going to do nothing but continue to rise this game to new heights within Nebraska's conference in the Big Ten. I mean, if you look at the top 25 poll, 6 of them are Big Ten schools. But now you have Creighton in their respective conference, rising up the quality of play across the board. So what Nebraska's been able to do with this sport has turned this sport not only into a statewide powerhouse and something that we cherish and love, it is growing the game nationwide. I credit what Nebraska and Creighton and some of your heavy hitters have been able to do to put a amazing product on the floor when you have eyeballs on it. And the game has grown so much to the fact that, you know, like take a Vanderbilt, for instance. They're starting up volleyball for the first time in 50 years as a program. Why? Because we put 90,000 people in a outdoor football arena to watch a volleyball match, and it got worldwide attention. And people love this sport when they get involved in it. And so to see all of that on display, like, it doesn't matter who wins or loses Creighton volleyball. Like, that's a matchup that you celebrate how far this sport has come thanks to the players that have put in the time and the energy and the effort to make the product so marketable.
All right, so the Huskers winning over Creighton last night. Again, they will play Arizona on Saturday. Football again, Nebraska and Michigan coming up on Saturday. Offensive coordinator Dana Holgerson was before us yesterday, and he said he's excited for the conference season.
Everybody in the Big Ten is going to play good defense. It's what stands out to me. That's why we're all here. You know, it's why I'm here. It's why this coaching staff's here. It's why the majority of our players came here is for Big Ten football. You know, the highest level of football. I'm excited about it. I dabbled in it last year for 3 games. It was awesome. So looking forward to 9 of them. You know, so no disrespect to Michigan at all. I'm just excited about Big Ten play. You know, and so. With that becomes a lot of challenges. You know, there's a lot of really good defense that's played in this league, and Michigan certainly set the standard for that for a long time. You know, so I've never competed against them. That excites me. They got a great coaching staff. They got great players, great tradition. It's something that we understand as well. You know, so just really excited for the opportunity.
And Daniel says he knows that the Big Ten is built on defense,
toughness, physicality. It's typically low scoring games. Opposite of the Big 12, so to speak. You know, so I do think that we played some pretty good defense throughout the course of my last 15 years or whatever. But it's week in, week out. You know, everybody's going to have a solid physical. Defense that sound and well coached with good players. So just really excited for the opportunity, man.
As far as the Nebraska offense is concerned, Dana says they continue to work on that red zone offense.
Can't waste plays. That first drive where we didn't score, and I know that's a topic, and it's on Coach Rule's mind. We got to score when we're inside the 5. We do. I've talked about that since the day I got here. I showed him, the 4 Big Ten CFP teams last year were all 70 plus. That goal is 70. We've been 66, 66, and 64 or something like that, right? And so, which is a lot better than last year. Last year is in the 40s, okay? And so we have took a step in that direction. We've worked it. We got to continue to work it. But, we've just wasted a couple plays down there. Last week on 3rd and 5, the 2 receivers didn't get the check. I mean, that's just flat out unacceptable, and so we wasted that play, the play before that, we tried a pass to Dane that we've worked. We can't work it anymore, okay? And he's just got to run that route a little bit more sudden. He got into him, the guy grabbed him, which if you get into him, the guy's going to grab you. So you got to be more sudden and get through that. So Dylan threw, I thought, was a pretty good pass, but he couldn't get to it. That's a waste of play. So, the other stops were later in the game. I probably would have called that a little bit differently if it would have been our black team in there instead of our white team in there. No excuse. Everybody's got to have an opportunity to execute. They need to go in there and execute when they have that opportunity to play. Okay, but it's improved from last year. It's not what it needs to be for what our goal is. Okay, and so we just need to not waste plays and keep moving forward. I do think we were an efficient offense last week. We had 1 negative play, which was victory. I'll take that. That was the only negative play that we had the entire day. That's been something that we focused on going forward, not backwards. We, 2 penalties, no turnovers, 55% critical downs, which we'd like to have a couple of those back. But for the most part, I think our offense is efficient. And as quality of play goes up, which it will in the Big Ten, then our quality of play needs to go up as well.
All right, that's Dana Holgerson. His thoughts yesterday as Huskers begin preparations for Saturday's game against Michigan. I think it's going to be a great game, a great early season game between the Huskers and the Wolverines. Last time they plucked us pretty good in the game in Ann Arbor a couple of years ago. We just scored 45-7 or something like that. I think it'll be a lot closer this year.
Biff Poggi.
I saw a picture of him today.
The John Daly of college football coaches. Yeah. His career head coaching record, by the way, in college is 7-16. He guided the Charlotte 49ers to 2 consecutive 3-win seasons in 2023 and then in 2024. Obviously got off to the 1-0 start with the Central Michigan Chippewas as Michigan's opponent. He's 7-16 overall. They're rolling out a freshman quarterback who's, albeit talented, but is probably going to make some mistakes. I think top to bottom, and looking into the 2 deep, we could go toe to toe with Michigan, depth chart wise. My biggest question mark is, can we stop a mobile quarterback for once? We haven't done it, so because we haven't proved we can do it, it's hard for me to say that we're going to do it. Got to be able to stop a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, look at the game against Cincinnati.
Got to put pressure on him. Got to make him uncomfortable. Got to hit him. Got to rough him up a few times. We need to let him know he's playing a football team and he's playing a defense, and that he can't just run wild on us.
Yeah, we had some trouble with that too.
We need to get that area cleaned up. And I think the biggest area, Mike, that I'm going to be real honest with you, because I'm suffering with it as a fan, is we have to win the battle that takes place between the ears. We can't look across the field and see Michigan on their chest and say, oh no, here we go again, when things start to go downhill. We have a bad play, a negative play, we lose a football, we make a bad throw, an errant throw. These things are going to happen in a football game. We're not playing Houston Christian no more. We're not playing Akron. We're going to make mistakes in this football game, and Michigan's a team that's going to feed off that. and take advantage of those mistakes. And we can't go back to the sideline and go, oh no, here we go again. Because if we do that, that's the recipe for trouble. So we got to win the battle between the ears, which is your brain, and got to be able to stop a mobile quarterback. And you take care of those two things, which is a pretty tall ask. You take care of those two things, and I think we'll win the football game.
There we go. The keys to winning on a Wednesday. The keys to winning from Tyson and Brodick. 7:55, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Two children have died following a two-vehicle crash Monday afternoon. The crash occurred at the intersection of Saddlehorn Road and Riverview Avenue. 33-year-old Blake Whitcomb of Hastings collided with the northbound farm truck from Harvard. The sheriff's office said the two children, ages 7 and 10, in the eastbound pickup, died at the scene. Due to an increase in casino gambling revenue and unused money remaining in the property tax credit cash fund, Governor Jim Pillen is ordering the distribution of $20 million in property tax relief. The executive order follows a number of initiatives led by Governor Pillen to reduce property taxes, increasing direct relief to property tax payers to $1.2 billion, removing community colleges from property tax rolls, and placing revenue caps on school districts, cities, and counties. And we head to McCook, where it was a wild, stormy affair yesterday afternoon as a storm system spawned over the McCook community and then did not move, not even like 1 mile per hour. It hovered over the McCook community for over an hour and a half, dropping up to 3-inch hailstones. There was also a tornado warning at one point and a flash flood warning later issued for Red Willow County, as the National Weather Service office said that 2.5 inches of rain fell per hour in Red Willow County. 4 minutes until 8 o'clock. Let's head over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Sports headlines this morning. The Nebraska volleyball team beat Creighton last night at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. The scores were 25-17, 21-25, 25-18, 24-26, 15-9. Harper Murray, 17 kills, 10 digs for the Huskers. Nebraska now 9-0 in the season. They will play host to Arizona on Saturday. First serve will be at 8 o'clock. Hastings College volleyball team will play at Mount Marty tonight. The Broncos 4-8 on the season. They're 1-1 in conference play after losing a 4-game match to the College of St. Mary's on Saturday. First serve tonight will be at 7:30. Tatiana Villasnor of Hastings College has been named the GPAC Women's Soccer Defensive Player of the Week for the second consecutive week. Grandview of Iowa ranked number 1 in this week's NAIA Football Coaches Top 25 poll. Morningside is 4th. Northwestern is 15th. Dordt is 17th. And Concordia is number 23. Mount Marty is receiving votes. Nebraska Kearney volleyball team swept York College last night, 25-14, 25-17, 25-14. The win pushes UNK's home court winning streak to 35 games, the third longest in the program's history. High school softball from yesterday, Hastings High beat Gretna 6-4. Ella Tinsman struck out 16 batters for the Tigers. Hastings is now 13-4. St. Cecilia also improved to 13-4. The Hawkins winning over Twin River yesterday by a score of 10-3. In volleyball from yesterday, Hastings High lost to Minden and to Northwest in the Northwest Triangular. The Tigers are now 2-9. Adams Central took 3 games from Aurora to improve to 7-1. St. Cecilia swept Blue Hill to improve to 7-3. And Seattle beat the Kansas City Royals last night 12-5. Same two teams will play at 6:40 tonight. That's a check on your sports headlines at 7:59.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Wednesday morning, light rain is still lingering, but it looks like overnight we've had about 1.14 inches of rain at the Hastings Airport. Today we'll have lingering showers and thunderstorms and a high of 76, 57, and the same for rain chances overnight tonight. Thursday, cool, a high of 71, chances of various showers. And on Friday, the sunshine returns, a high of 77, and 81 on Saturday, and sunny.
Right now, we've got south winds at 4 miles per hour. It is cloudy, 63 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
At Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center in Hastings, you can now experience the Balancer Pro lymphatic system, a relaxing, touchless treatment that works while you simply sit back. Using the principles of manual lymphatic drainage, it helps flush out swelling, reduce toxins, ease muscle soreness, and promote total body wellness. Whether you're recovering from surgery, looking to contour and tone, aiming for weight loss, or just wanting to feel lighter and more energized, the Balancer Pro lymphatic system delivers results you can feel immediately. Perfect for athletes, post-op recovery, detox, or anyone who just wants to look and feel their best, because it's for everybody with a body. Come try it today at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings.
Have you checked the time lately? Good chance that Miletta Vista Winery is open. Hey, this is Mick with an update on our new hours. Tuesday through Sunday, we're open 11:30 to 3, and Fridays and Saturdays 11:30 till 9. Not sure what you want to enjoy when you get here? Well, Miletta Vista features award-winning wine, select beer, spirits, world-class foods, breathtaking views, and live entertainment. Visit MilettaVistaWinery.com. Check out our events page for music schedules and more. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Make your reservations now at Miletta Vista Winery, located on Highway 281, just north of St. Paul.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
All right, Mike Willenstein, Center of Bronick with you on this Wednesday. Getting ready for another week of high school football this week. Friday night, we'll have a Holdridge and Adams Central here on Extreme Sports beginning at 6:45. You will be in Sandy Creek or at Sandy Creek on Friday night. Get you the Cougars and Tri-County beginning at 6:45. That'll be on Extreme Sports 2 on the Friday night. Then Saturday, we've got another football, volleyball double dip, so to speak. We've got Waldorf and Hastings College beginning at noon here on Extreme Sports 1. College volleyball and Extreme Sports 2. It'll be Midland and Hastings beginning at 4:15. So big weekend of sports activity coming up this weekend on Extreme Sports. So anything else happening for the day? Is it off to school for you?
You've covered all the bases, man. Yeah, back to school. We're building a podcast studio.
I saw that. You got the engineer.
So, I mean, let's say that. I don't know if I have a
quotation marks engineer
degree in engineering by any stretch of the imagination, but I know how to install new and take out old. And so, yeah, that's currently, if you want a mixer, a radio beg soundboard from the 1970s, let me know. I can ship that off to you, and we can throw that in the Hastings Museum. It's now going to be a CCC relic, but we got brand new and shiny. It was Christmas in September. That all awaited me at my desk, so I had like 7 extra hands to help tear stuff apart, and I said, let's get to work. So we had a build day yesterday. It was deconstruction yesterday. It'll be construction today.
You gonna try to get it to work?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try. There's no try. I execute. and I don't sleep until it works. So
you just plug stuff in and hope that it's going to work.
It's going to work. It's the exact same stuff we're using.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to work then.
It's going to work great.
It's going
after the first show.
All right. Again, our Survivor picks today. I went on Buffalo for this week, and I think you're out on the limb. I think you're out on the limb this week. You're on Indianapolis.
It's a decent favorite.
God, there's better picks, though.
Sure.
There's better picks.
There are more sexy picks, but there's, nothing about Survivor is sexy. You just gotta survive in advance. And when you're out in the wilderness and you're trying to survive, you got to do some things that civilized world wouldn't normally do.
Yeah,
you're just trying to survive, man.
Yeah, you don't care that it's sexy or not.
Nope.
Hell, you're just trying to survive. So I think that's where you are this week. You're just trying to survive. You got Indianapolis, and I went with a much healthier and much more confident pick, I think.
You're going to start to curse Thursday football games.
I don't have any problem with Thursday night games. It's you.
Know.
It's you that has this curse on Thursday night games.
I'm just superstitious, brother.
You are. You won't bet them. You won't play your fantasy football players on Thursday. You won't take your favorite team as a survivor pick on Thursday, only because they play on a Thursday.
We all have weird quirks.
Yes, you do.
Thursday football is mine.
Yes, you do. All right, so if you'd like to listen to the show again, you can go to our podcast section, download the podcast, any one of our social media sites. You'll be able to find that. And again, join us. Make plans tomorrow to join us at 7 o'clock for a Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. Have yourself a great day.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.